And Total Recall. We present a day in the afterlife of Philip.K. Dick.
My stories are attempts at reception, at listening to voices from another place, far away. They only come out at night, when the background din and gabble of our world have faded out. Then, faintly, I hear voices from another star.
Oh, hello. Hello, I'm Terry Gilliam, and welcome to my drab little world. I've used PKD for years. It has brought brightness, sparkle, flair to my life and to my plates. It can do to you as well. One thing today I would like to share with you, though, is a secret. Despite manufacturers' warnings, I use PKD washing up liquid to unclog my brains. Why don't you?
Well, the police once told me that I was a crusader and they had no use for crusaders. But unfortunately, they didn't tell me what I was crusading for. I was afraid to ask what it was I was a crusader for. And they told me that if I did not get out of the county, I would be shot in the back or worse some night. It may have had something to do with my writing, it may have had something to do with my lifestyle, or a combination of both, but I was too afraid of the police to ask what it was I was doing.
Philip.K. Dick is considered by many to be the single most significant science fiction author of recent times. For most of his life, Dick's 42 novels were filed away under cult author and rarely taken seriously. But since his death, the films Blade Runner and Total Recall have brought him mainstream attention. Dick's vision was formed by the changing landscape of California, a rural paradise that he saw bulldozed into urban submission. From a trash world ever more dependent on consumer disposables, Philip.K. Dick created a fictional universe in which the line between human and machine becomes blurred. Your toaster might just have an opinion of its own. Your telephone might be plotting against you, and your video camera might be keeping an eye on you before filing its own report.
Phil was one of the last people to actually write predictive science fiction in the sense that he saw a new world coming before it was there. He saw the consequences of a media-soaked world.
A new life awaits you in the off-world colony. The chance to begin again in a golden land of opportunity and adventure.
He's one of the few writers who has the satisfaction of having got it right in a complicated way. The one book about the everybody's down in bunkers and they're having a false war broadcast down to them, and actually there's no war going on at all, it's just a media event. Well, everybody felt that way during, like the Korean War and Vietnam. In some ways, it was just a media event. And people got excited about it, and it was political. But, you became a connoisseur of the footage. And Phil knew that. And his heroes in the book are the people who are perpetrating the fraud. He enjoys their cleverness.
There's no culture in California, only trash. I do seem attracted to trash as if the clue lies there. One must work with trash, pit it against itself. If God manifested himself to us, he would do so in the form of a product advertised on TV.
Hello, I'm Elvis Costello, and I want to tell you about this PKD collection, featuring such classics as Lies, Inc., The Man in the High Castle, Ubik, Who Can Forget the Immortal, the man whose teeth were all exactly alike, and of course, Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep. Order now using this toll-free number. Not available in any store.
What you would notice if you were Philip.K. Dick is that there's nothing natural in the world anymore. Everything that I see is plastic and glass and gaudy colors and strangely made. The human beings begin to take on an odd look. Our clothes are the same sort of plastic oddness, and therefore our eyeballs begin to take on a kind of a glassy look. The entire world begins to take on a kind of a fake, artificial, made quality. And the question then naturally jumps to your mind, well, who made it? Why is it so crummy? Why is it so degraded and falling apart?
Life in California was a commercial for itself, endlessly replayed. Nothing changed. It just spread further and further in the form of neon ooze. How the land became plastic, he thought, remembering the fairy tale, How the Sea Became Salt. The truck drove on past gas stations, tawdry cafes, and motels. Nothing is so alien, bleak, and unfriendly as the strip of gas stations, cut-rate gas stations, on the rim of your own city.
I was his second wife. We were both very young. I adored him. He was wonderful and funny and a very nice man. This is 1126 Francisco Street, where Philip and I lived from 1950 to 1958. We both felt that his writing was the focus of our life for, 7-8 years. His work life was involved with salesmen on a small scale, and repairmen and small business owners. So of course that's what he wrote about when he wrote. But usually the occupation is not the important thing. It's the relationships with other people and the internal workings of the, I didn't think I'd ever say this, but of the soul. He wrote about people's souls. Not a word I use lightly.
I'm not so sure my universes are such fine places, but I do hope the people in them are fine people. In the ruins of Earth's cities, this minor man is busily constructing imitation artifacts that say, "Welcome to Miami, the pleasure center of the world." The positive little figure outlined against the universal rubble is gnat-sized, and yet, in some sense, great. I like to take employers that I've had and make them rulers of entire galaxies.
He wrote mostly at night, like any sane human being, according to me.